While most of the UK press have focused on Northern Ireland as a key sticking point in the Brexit talks, the role of the European Court of Justice, the ECJ, is also a key issue that is still unresolved, especially on who will legally monitor the rights of the 3 million EU citizens in the UK. Joining me is Gabi Zimmer, the leader of the left-leaning European United Left Nordic Green Left group in the European Parliament, and a member, crucially, of the Parliament's Brexit Steering Group. Gabi, in terms of the European Court of Justice and the rights of EU citizens in the UK, how far is the disagreement and the divide currently between the EU position and the UK position?
I hope we are closer than the weeks before, but before we don't know with which positions Theresa May is coming back from London to Brussels, and we don't know the price she has to pay to DUP. We can't say we will have the same solutions or not, or the same agreements. That's why it's a little bit of speculation. What is my feeling and what we are standing for here in the Brexit group and the Parliament is that we would like to have a direct effect of the European Court of Justice on the EU citizens in UK. And now it seems that we are close on an agreement on that, and that there are differences concerning the period. For that we have an agreement that means we need an interpretation of the rights in the withdrawal agreement for the citizens by the European Court of Justice.
And you just mentioned duration there. So the reports are saying that MEPs, and I assume that would be in the Parliament, are demanding at least 8 years worth of European Court of Justice oversight. Longer. What kind of period then are you?
Might be 10 years, 15 years or so. And I know that the British government is not agreeing to that, but we have to find a way. And
that's when you say 10, 15 years, possibly even more, is that the European Steering Group, European Parliament's suggestions, or is that what the EU negotiators are pushing for in the negotiations? Do you know? It's
our position here in the Parliament, and we don't know exactly what is now, on that point, the position of the negotiators. But, we have every week debriefings by the negotiators, and on that we are able to give our recommendations and saying, look, you can negotiate what you like to want, but in the end, if you decide about the withdrawal agreement, the European Parliament has to agree or it will disagree. And that's why you have to be aware on our positions.
Some of the UK press this morning, quoting EU sources, is saying the UK is holding out for a 5-year sunset clause on the ECJ. In terms of the European Parliament, who obviously have to approve the withdrawal agreement, that would be completely unacceptable.
Yeah, in this moment I can't say 5 years are enough. We will have longer problems, and we need a longer interpretation of the agreement, the agreed positions inside the withdrawal agreement. We are discussing with the UK government about the fact that we need also an agreement that couples who are living in UK, that also the children, future children, will be accepted. And we will not stop it after 5 years.
Right, and just in terms of the cost of citizenship as well, in terms of those who are permanently or want to reside in the UK post-Brexit, there seems to be some kind of disagreement as well regarding the charge that some people might need to effectively become permanent residents in the UK. So it reports that the MEPs want the Commission to press the UK to enable citizens to register in the UK for settled status for free. Now, this would cost, is reported in the Telegraph today, £240 million for the UK. I mean, that's, in terms of the money, already £45 billion or something is being handed over in a financial settlement. Is this perhaps a little bit too far in terms of what the demands are?
Why? It's important also for UK that a lot of EU citizens will remain in UK. And if you are saying now you have to pay this cost, also for not only for yourself, also for family members or others, you will have a problem. That's why we are sticking on the position we need a simple procedure for the settlement. We need also an agreement that the burden, the financial burden, have not to be paid by EU citizens.
And in terms of, what do you say to the hard Brexiteers, as they're called in the UK, who want a clean break from the European Union, including the ECJ, and who say that, you know, part of the Brexit vote was for sovereignty, including legal sovereignty for the UK Supreme Court? What would you say to them, who you know, they're saying the Supreme Court fundamentally should take control?
They should tell the truth. When they voted and made campaigns for a Brexit and saying it's now easy to go out and there will be no any other new burdens for the British economy, for British citizens, for British, how to say, the budget also, it was not the truth. It was not true. They have to take over the consequences. If they are demanding a hard Brexit, it would mean one day after, and a hard Brexit could be no deal or a very strong deal. But and then it would mean one day after. They have to take over all the consequences.
Can I just, obviously the government, Theresa May's position has been a red line for her personally is the ECJ. The UK needs to take back control of its legal affairs as much as anything else. From your indications in the briefing you're getting from Brexit Steering, as part of the Brexit Steering Group, the UK has already conceded that the ECJ will be involved in the UK for, you know, 5 years, but possibly a lot longer.
The UK negotiators, and especially also our negotiator from the EU side, they know exactly that the European Parliament will not accept if the ECJ will not have any direct effect on the citizens, EU citizens in UK. That's a clear position here in the Brexit Steering Group, and we are able to make so much pressure on the negotiation that we can say if UK will not accept it, it will be a problem till the last moment on the agreement.
And so as a result, there will never be a Brexit deal done, which does not involve the ECJ remaining.
All the political groups involved in the steering group are saying the same. We need a clear decision on the ECJ. And that's our position, because we have to protect also the rights of the EU citizens in UK, but also we are looking on the rights on the UK citizens in EU.